Hey guys, welcome back to Sinfully Scented. Today I am making clean peace soap, and the technique for making this soap was part of the March Soap Club Challenge. If you've never done the Soap Club challenges before, this was my first one and I really enjoyed learning this new technique and applying it in my soap making. So for the soap, I was going for a bit of a tie-dyed look, so I divided my soap evenly into 7 different cups, which I then colored with my standard rainbow array of colors from Nurture Soap Supply. The colors that I used were My Red Obsession, Orange Vibrance, Firefly Yellow, Sea Green, Klein Blue, and Purple Vibrance. Fragrance oil today, I was using Botanical Bliss from Nurture Soap, and this one was supposed to be a good performer, no acceleration, no discoloration. It riced on me so badly, and normally I would have taken my stick blender and blended out the kind of chunky bits, but these cups are too small for my stick blender to fit in there, so I just proceeded as is, and the soap turned out pretty fine. I poured my colors in rainbow order into my bucket here, and then I'm going to pour them into my mold. The method that I used for pouring them into the mold was I just poured from one corner of the mold, and again this was to try to kind of get a bit of a tie-dye look, which I think I accomplished pretty well. I took the remaining color in the cups and splattered them on top for a paint splatter effect, and I set this aside for about 18 hours to firm up before I cut it the next day. Now remember when I said I split my batter into 7 cups, but so far you've only seen me use 6 of them. I am coloring the rest of the soap with white and putting it in a single cavity silicone mold, and I'm going to use this as the soap dough to fill in the rest of the soap once I carve out my peace sign. You'll see that in just a minute. So here we are back to cut the tie-dye soap, and I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I think that the design is really gorgeous. It does have that kind of tie-dye effect. The middle bars have a better design than the outer edge, but that's kind of typical with this kind of style of soap. So here's an example of the finished bar once I'm done with the peace sign. This one is a little rough looking, but you get the concept. So I took a peace sign template that I printed and cut out, and using a clay carving tool to trace around the peace sign so that I know where to carve out my soap. then using some clay carving tools to carve out my peace sign from my soap. And let me tell you, the first bar or so is always so nerve-wracking cutting into a bar of soap, especially one where I'm really happy with the design. But these turned out really cool. I am so excited with this technique, and it does open up a realm of possibilities for future soaps. I can't wait to show you next week's video. This one wasn't even my official contest entry. This was just a backup plan in case my contest entry did not quite work out. So once the peace sign was all carved up, this is what I was left with, and I'm going to take the white soap that I made the same day that I made this, carve out a little bit of the soap, kind of mold it between my hands to soften it up, and then fill in the gaps that I carved out my peace sign. I wasn't particularly neat with this process because I knew I was going to be kind of washing off the excess a little bit later. So I just filled it in, just trying to make sure that I filled in all of the gaps from where I carved out the soap. That was my main priority with this, was pushing as much soap as possible to make sure it was totally filled in. Now, for cleaning up the bars, you have a couple of options. You could use a planer. I did not have a planer, so I actually ended up washing my soap. And so by that, I took a sponge from my soap carving tool set and some rubbing alcohol spray, and I sprayed the surface of my soap and scrubbed it vigorously with the sponge in order to clean up the extra white, and it left me with a nice glossy surface, and it kept my peace sign looking nice and crisp. And here are the finished bars. I think these turned out really cool. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again in my next video.